go.
It is the special Earth Day edition of the One More I'm Out of Here podcast. Hi, everyone. I'm Dan Carroll. Well, that sounded pretty good.
It did sound pretty good.
That sounded really good. Coming to you from the Varsity Sports Bar and Grill on Beachmont Avenue in Anderson Township.
8112 Beachmont.
We're being as green as we possibly can be today.
No, we're not.
Well, you mean you're not on board with the Earth Day celebrations?
Fuck no. The only thing green today is my car. This is not Earth Day. It's allergy fucking day. This is the pinnacle of fucking allergy season in Ohio and in Cincinnati particularly.
Allergies are part of Earth too.
Well, I fucking hate Earth Day. So does God. That's why he's burning half of Kentucky down right now. And you know what I do to celebrate Earth Day before we introduce the firemen who should be in Kentucky right now, called out on special assignment? I go to a state park near me.
Did I miss something? Are there fires going on?
Red flag, baby. Red flag all day.
Oh, red flag because it's windy.
No, there's actual fires burning Kentucky down.
Red River Gorge is on fire right now.
You know what I do on Earth Day?
It is?
Yes.
As you can see, I am wearing a plaid shirt. Very Paul Bunyan-esque. I've got an axe. I go to a local state park and cut down as many live trees as I can so they can sit and die in season before the fire season starts in the winter. With that note, Jason Kiefer, the fireman, worked last night, I believe. Did not work in Kentucky.
That was better.
I don't think they have forest fires where you work.
Definitely not.
No.
And you know what? Those guys, good on them. Glad they enjoyed doing that, but fuck that.
Yeah, Josh Gurf's brother.
that.
Isn't he a fire jumper out in Cali?
I think so.
Yeah. We'll have to get him on. Bo?
Screw that.
Yeah. My idea of camping is a tent for one night, and that fire is pretty fucking controlled. And I'm drinking cold Dylan Mulvaney's at the time around a campfire. Maybe roasting a marshmallow here and there, and definitely deep throating a hot dog. How about you, Dano?
So you're doing all that while enjoying a cold Dylan Mulvaney while getting a little Colorado campfire? Is that what you're talking about?
Oh,
Is that what that means?
Oh, he pulled something out from the archives.
God damn. You can't even remember his name, which is why we make him say it first on the show when he opens up.
Remember whose name?
Your own.
I know my own name.
Who?
I love the fact that you did remember California campfire or
No,
Colorado campfire.
That's what he's talking about.
I know.
That's because
I'm impressed.
That's because I actually found his room one night. He doesn't want to say this, and I showed him what it was.
No, I don't think so.
And I was a gentleman.
Nope.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I was a gentleman about it.
Pretty
Dana.
sure that didn't happen.
So anybody else, big fan of Earth Day, you can kiss my ass. My eyes burn. I'm sneezing. I'm stuffed up. I don't sleep well. I know Kiefer. I can hear him sneezing. I mean, it's honestly like we were in New Jack City at the fucking pack house, topless or something last night. Or running for one. Pablo.
I promise, even after 420, I would pass every drug test. I swear. I promise.
What'd you do last night?
Worked.
Okay.
Fucking worked. What'd you do?
Good.
What'd you do last night?
Paul and I went and enjoyed some Don Rigo's.
Ooh,
and
big night out.
He should have went to El Ranchero.
I like the Rigo, man.
We like Don. We like their. I really like their margaritas there, and we like the fajitas, and I like the burritos. And then we got done with that, pouring down rain, and we went visited our buddy Nobes.
The Nobes.
And
we've had him on the podcast way back.
The bourbon was flowing, and
Dan apparently is the guy that you don't want to ask, how are you doing?
Long story.
What did you do last night? He's going to give you every 5-minute increment play.
Long story short, I didn't make it to golf this morning, so that was my night.
And somebody asked why I'm so angry. If you had to sit next to Dan,
figured you'd like that.
You would be a little angry.
Well, I didn't have to sit next to you during the trip down to Clayton, North Carolina, so that was a big plus.
No, but you were on all fours in front of me when I was poking marshmallows in you.
No, that's not true.
That's how you know the Colorado campfire.
And as we're going on about personal evenings, things, whatever, I put in the description, I'm starting a campaign for hashtag free Carl. I've named the zit on my nose Carl.
Is that what that is?
Because it fucking hurts so bad.
Is that what that is?
Dude, it's so bad. It hurts.
Fuck, I thought you got hurt in the work last night.
I feel like I got punched in the face by Mike Tyson.
You look like Owen Wilson today.
I put my shirt on, and
you could hang your shirt on that thing.
The neckband hit my nose, and I literally went into tears. So I named him Carl because he's special, just like Carl from Sling Blade.
Mm-hmm.
So we have
Carl Fetterman.
I'm going to start a GoFundMe page for
French fry taters.
for any good help, ideas, exfoliants, something, because this thing needs to go away.
That's called drunkenness, and let us hold you down and get some latex gloves out of my trunk and take care of it.
Oh man, it's bad.
I'll do it.
I rolled over in my bunk last night and just breezed my nose and literally couldn't sleep for half an hour after. It hurt that bad.
Jesus. So
it's like a fucking boulder up in that bitch.
I know this is going to get sideways. It's going to zig and zag a little bit today. I'm going to do a quick today in history. Earth Day started in 1970. Fuck Earth Day. Don't care about that.
They've been wrong from the very beginning of Earth Day about all the predictions that they made about the Earth coming to an end. Wrong. There you go.
1870, Vladimir Lenin was born, Prime Minister of the Soviet Union. Oppenheimer was born, American physicist, in 1904. Jack Nicholson was born in 1937. Fuck you, you libtard. The Paris Agreement on climate change was signed.
Great actor.
2016. He is a great actor, by the way. The Paris Accord 2016, that also helps. Didn't that talk about let's kill some cows and shit because they're farting too much? Wasn't that part of that? The methane release?
Oh, yeah, all the methane, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Well, the mayor in New York City now wants to ban people from
eating
meat and dairy products because it makes you fart too much.
Another reason for me to not go to New York.
So they're going to have people, I guess they're going to have people running around New York City monitoring how much gas is being passed. What kind of fucking world are we living in?
There's going to be some sensor.
That's why
with all the AI technology.
Now he's carping and complaining about we have too many illegals. Well, you think the illegals are farting up a storm in New York City? Probably.
Yeah, they eat Mexican food mostly.
Well,
when I eat the Subway burrito or the Speedway burritos, trust me, man, I'm like, there's some methane pollution going on there.
You're eating fucking Speedway.
They're so
burritos.
Fucking good at 1 a.m, man. And it's closer than White Castle, so you don't have to go down there. That'll make you fart too. Holy shit. Oh. 2004, sad day today. 4/22 of 2004, Pat Tillman was killed. NFL football player that enlisted after September 11th in the military, was killed in Afghanistan.
Definitely. I saw on that with the whole Dylan Mulvaney on the Bud Light can, somebody had obviously done a meme or whatever and put Tillman on one. It was like, why don't we celebrate a true fucking hero?
Yeah. Why don't, what
a great, he was, every interview that I saw with him and all the interviews that you see, such a great dude. That's RIP. I did not know that. Thank you, Rob.
Not a problem. 1994, President Nixon, who was the first American president to resign from office, resigned from life that day. He died. 1983, bullshit Adolf Hitler diaries were discovered and then found promptly to be false.
I think that's the closest I've ever done spitting up beer.
World War I, guess what? 1915, good old Germans decided to play with chemical warfare and release chlorine gas along a 4-mile trench. That's good for them. They are always on the front burner of genocide and just worldwide decay. I already did Oppenheimer, but he was the nuke guy, man. Los Alamos. Who are the ones that the two that were tried for treason that also worked at Los Alamos for the bomb? Shit.
Oh shit.
It was a husband and wife.
You got to bring. Nope, not gonna get it.
It'll come to me.
Yeah. Not gonna get it if I don't get it in the first 2 seconds.
1889. I can't remember what movie this was. I think was Tom Cruise in it with Nicole Kidman. At noon, by federal decree, white settlers were allowed into Indian territory, sparking a land rush involving tens of thousands in what became Oklahoma territory. Remember that movie where they were on a wagon and horse and you had to stick a stake or grab a stake or some shit to claim your land? They wanted westward expansion and settlement. That was the purpose of it with the federal government, but there was a movie, I can't remember.
Again.
Brad Pitt or Tom Cruise. One of the two.
2 seconds, not going to get it. Somebody in the chat.
Somebody will spark it for us.
Somebody Google it.
1864, Congress passed the Coinage Act. In God We Trust was printed on coins, eventually hitting all U.S. currency.
And now we offend everybody with that.
Yes, we do. In God We Trust, you will watch this podcast, give us a positive review, subscribe, and like. 1724. Don't really care about this unless you're a psychologist or psychiatrist, but nonetheless, I like saying the name. Immanuel Kant was born in Prussia. German philosopher. Well, philosophy major. I thought he was a psych guy. But birthday today. Happy birthday. Dead now. 1500. Don't give a fuck. It's Portuguese. Who gives a shit? This is a good one, Dan. 1370 on today. Construction began of the
1370.
Bastille, the medieval fortress that came to symbolize French despotism. Bastille. And that pretty much does it. Does anybody give a shit about 1073? Gregory the Seventh came. Alexander
Tabitha Rudolph, Far and Away was the name of that movie. Thank you.
Thank you, Tabitha.
Thank you.
Holy smokes. I watched that movie probably twice. I don't know if that means it's a good movie or I was drinking first time I watched it and I forgot all about it. So I had to watch it again to see it.
I'm going with that option.
Probably. Speaking of another movie, and I was telling Keith this before you got here, Dan. I watched Air last night. Took my son to Air with Crumb Ryan, 100% Fuck You, Rob. His daughter. And
Drake.
Really good movie.
It looked really, really good.
Very, very good movie. I enjoyed it. Matt Damon was in it with Ben Affleck, the duck or goose, whatever the fuck it is. Affleck played Phil Knight. Matt Damon played the guy that sold the Jordan family.
He was like their marketing guy or something.
Yeah, we got back too late for me to actually fact check it. But, I mean, from memory, it was pretty cool because it did a lot of 80s shit. And Griffin and Rose are sitting there like, they don't know half the shit, but just talking about cell phones and cars and the blue and red for the heat thing. He's like, what's that? I was like, well, you had to slide a stick and try to guess what would be optimal. That was the heater instead of, I'm going to set this at 70 and just cruise because that's my favorite temperature.
And usually the knob came off. So it was a sharp piece of metal that you cut your fucking hand on.
Fuck, yeah. Then you're lighting cigarettes because you smoked back then because we weren't afraid of anything like we are right now.
Even when you were 12.
Yeah, we weren't woke. And when you were 12, you were riding with your parents who were both smoking with the windows up and shit.
And
drinking beer.
And they were connected to those little skinny wires that would open a panel, right?
Oh, yeah.
Heat in, you close it, let the heat out. And then, of course, they would break and you had to get down there and move it up and down yourself.
But it was awesome. Just some of the
those cars were fun.
The memories back in the day of that movie.
It's a good movie, though.
It was a good movie. It held my interest. It was an hour and 50 minutes. The only part, I think the previews were an hour and 50 minutes. So it was about a 3.5 hour investment.
So so the guy that pitched the idea of selling the Air Jordans to Nike, did he already have Michael Jordan and the Jordan family on board before he did that, or that came after?
He did not have him on board, and the way it was portrayed, and I'm not going to wreck it for anybody. I mean, shit, it's historical anyway, so it's not like it's a wreck.
We know how it ends.
But Michael
am I right about that?
Michael with the Nike deal, it came back as he was the first athlete on a shoe deal, particularly any athlete, to get a percentage of gross. And I think at the end of the film, they put up some numbers and shit, and we're showing the real people that were portrayed. They said he makes $400 million a year in passive income just from sales.
Isn't that nice?
Just for breathing.
Just from sales of Air Jordan.
Just for being you.
He wakes up and he makes
$400 million a year. Divide that by 365. Every morning you're getting $1 million.
Well, he gambles. He gambles probably 3/4 of that away on the golf course, from what I hear.
I've heard some stories about that. But he can afford it.
Hell yeah.
You know, he can afford to play blackjack at $35,000 a hand.
Shit, I'll take $4,000 a month or a year in passive income.
Joe Billy, spoiler alert, Air Jordans are a thing.
They are a thing, and they're expensive as shit. But sadly, when the manufacturer who actually came out, the guy that actually designed the shoe is the one that came out with the Flying Michael, the Air, instead of the swoosh. So all of Air Jordan shoes and shit now have the Flying Mike.
Yep.
It's pretty cool. And the red and black, I forgot this, but I remember reading this when I was younger. NBA at the time said the majority of the color of the shoes on the NBA court have to be white. And the three top ones were, it was Adidas, then Converse, and then Nike only had like 17% of the market share for shoes in the basketball. Adidas and Converse were apparently pussies at the time. It was a $5,000 per game fine, and Nike, as part of the deal, said, we'll fucking cover the fines. We're going to do the red and black Chicago colors and do more than just the white and break the rule of the NBA. And then in the movie, Miss Jordan calls and says he wants a percentage of the sales. Gross. It's like, well, nobody's ever done that. And Phil Knight apparently said, fuck it, do it.
Yeah, guess what, motherfucker? You are now.
Yeah, their sales, I believe they said at the beginning, was $4 million a year in the Shoe market. That next year when the Air Jordans came out, the first ones, it was $187 million in gross. What a fucking deal.
If only Lamar Jackson's
Great deal.
mom would have done something before the beginning of this last football season, he might be in a little bit better position.
Yeah.
But that deal goes on in perpetuity.
Yes, in perpetuity.
Perpetuity.
God,
We know them.
God bless her. God bless her.
Mrs. Jordan was very astute. They talked about his dad getting killed, shot and killed. There's always speculation about that. Miss Jordan's still living in North Carolina. She lives in Chicago.
That's a neat story, too. If you look into it.
She lives in Chicago now. She has a bunch of charities for children and shit.
I'm looking up at the TV.
It's a pretty good show.
I don't mean to cut you off, Rob.
No,
I'm sorry.
I'm finished. I talked way too long about that. I just want to say it was a good
No,
movie.
it looked really good. So I'm glad you saw it. I got a good review. I will go see it. I'm looking, and there's only 2 likes and 13 people in here. So as Eric Tansey says, hammer that like button. But I'm also going to hit real quick our Subscribe-a-Palooza. It's on our Instagrams and Facebooks and whatever with all the rules. TJR got in yesterday multiple times, getting a bunch of his buddies in. So enter your names into our contest.
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure. You can do whatever you want, right?
Now that Dan joined the 21st century and has a computer in front of him, is there any reason I have to put mine way over there up on that TV? Because I cannot read that shit.
Well, nobody can read that, really. I just need them to see it, and then they go to our socials.
No, I'm not talking about your thing. I'm talking about putting my computer right here so I can actually read the comments.
We need a longer cord.
So I have to keep it up on that TV all the time?
Well, you don't have to now that he's got his.
Yeah, now that he's got a big one. That's what I was saying. So we're good with that?
So the next round.
Next round.
We'll be good.
Okay, cool. Just making sure so I can actually read shit now.
Now we're actually seeing the YouTube feed there. You'll have the YouTube feed. You'll have the YouTube feed.
Yep.
I won't, but I still got the comments.
You don't have the feed?
I don't have the YouTube feed. I have the StreamYard feed.
I wonder if we could play or flip
No.
that screen and do a split.
No.
I bet you we could.
No.
Yep, sure can.
Nope, sure can't.
Watch it.
Okay.
Magic Man will get on that thing.
All right. Why don't you post our last fucking podcast on audio before you start
Guess
grabbing,
what? Magic
grabbing other
Man,
projects?
Magic Man will get on that thing too after today's show.
Before you grab any other projects, why don't you do that?
Nice.
Nicely.
Who was going to put us up on or recommend all his buddies and all these bachelor
TJR Tyler
Tyler
from Minnesota.
What I want to know what
He butt dialed me.
what frat house it is.
I don't know. Well, I don't know if it.
Please don't say Lambda.
I think it's
or Omega
Lambda,
Mu
Lambda.
or whatever.
It might be Lambda. I don't think that's rude. I don't think he's Mega Moo. He's a nice man. You have to be a woman.
Oh, I know.
Oh wait, no, you don't anymore.
yeah,
Apparently,
yeah. You can have a litter box too in your room if you want. Use that.
does that segue us into our next? Not having to be a man.
Out of spite, yesterday, I drank a bucket of Bud Light just to be a dick. I love it.
That does not shock.
Well,
me
that's
at all.
a group of people that's diminishing quickly. So congratulations on
Well,
it.
guess what's not diminishing, Dan, is their stock price. We look today; they're back up to 65.10. They only dropped $2, and they're regrouped $1.
Well, they're trying to limit the damage, and the young lady that made that decision has moved on now.
Guess what, Bud Light? I am
Well,
with you 100%.
leave of absence. She hasn't moved on yet.
I'm
It's
with
a
Bud
leave
Light
of
100%. That's 2 times now.
Has taken a leave of
times.
absence and
2 times.
will be replaced.
You got to drink, Dan.
100%. Okay. Well, I got to say
Oh,
it
shit.
again.
I took a big drink.
3 of them.
Yeah. So as soon as they said that they put somebody in her place, I'm like, yeah, that leave of absence is just go ahead and clean your office out and don't come back, and then we'll send everything else to you.
I don't know if that's a real house. I was
Alicia
never,
Heinrichide, marketing VP for the brand since June of 2022, has taken a leave of absence, the brewer confirmed, and will be replaced by a man.
Uh-oh.
Or, well, someone who has a manly name, Todd Allen,
I think Dylan Mulvaney's taking it over.
who was most recently global marketing VP for Budweiser. According to a statement from City Distributors, a Topeka, Kansas-based Anheuser-Busch distributor, the custom can decision circumvented the proper approval channels. Well, how about that? Isn't that interesting?
Did you see in that article? I'm waiting to see if you're getting to it.
Go ahead.
Where they brought in 2 consultants, conservative consultants.
Was it the Bobs?
one?
The Bobs
It
from
almost,
Office
and that's
Space?
exactly what it reminded me of. Where they bring the Bobs in, but
Well, Bob. I normally get
one
in-
worked under Trump and one worked under Cruz for their marketing. So they got 2 conservative people coming in to work with their marketing team.
I'm curious.
I could have done that.
You got to know who your customers
I'm a
are.
dumbass fireman. I could have done that, and you could have paid me her fucking salary.
And this is the same thing. I think it's in the same vein as Ford, and now there's 8 other car companies that want to get rid of AM radios in cars.
Why?
Because they say that it interferes with the AM signal amplitude modulation interferes with the drivetrain in electric vehicles. So their solution is to get rid of AM radios in vehicles.
You know what?
So never mind the people that are mining all the cobalt and all this shit that are dying. And
No.
Never mind them.
No, forget that.
Hey, you know
but
what?
Dan Carroll won't be on the radio anymore.
People like Rex over 65 interfere with my ability to navigate swiftly from courthouse to courthouse. We should get rid of all of them. Sorry, Dano, you're next.
Senior citizen
Yeah.
drivers.
Not
fuck.
65.
Florida be empty. There'd be nobody other than
It would be
yeah.
So, well, when you reach 65, you're going to take yourself
If it
out
interferes with it, just get rid of it.
if you do make so. What's the over-under on Rob making 65?
I think the over/under 67. Truthfully, that's what I've called out.
Oh, Will Cray's in the house. Welcome, Will Cray.
We'll see, but I let's just get rid of it. Fuck it. You know what? Some asshole doesn't like something in New York. Let's get rid of it. Meat. So what?
I just don't understand. I mean,
think about what.
again, I'm not smart, and I know this, but how that would interfere with the drivetrain in an electric vehicle, and we're going to have a whole nother rant with the whole Harley Davidson going to all electric motorcycles.
Know your audience.
And
We don't care about our audience, obviously, because we'll say whatever the fuck we want. But Harley Davidson, those are gas guzzling, fucking revving. You were talking about revving the engine just to get out of a conversation at a drive-through this week, Keith. I mean, I asked him one time, I was like, Kiefer, do those Harleys stall if you're at a red light and you're not continuously revving that engine, that handle? No. Why do you do it? Because it's cool.
because it's cool.
It makes it sound so good.
It makes me feel better about the money I put into my exhaust system.
Jeez. It's like a fucking moped.
It's instant gratification. That's all it is.
Still working.
And I'm okay with it.
Still sounding good.
It's like I didn't know if you had a clogged fuel line and you had to keep doing it to make sure the shit didn't fully clog up.
Now my
Kind of like a bypass surgery type thing.
I had a motorcycle. It was like that. You had to
Yeah. I've had one that kept dying all the
keep
time.
constant pressure.
Back in the old days, man, when I was
No,
riding. a
I
dirt
agree
bike.
with you though. There are some guys, and I guess women who ride bikes as well, that tend to overdo that at stoplights.
Yeah, I don't overdo it, but I will hit it a couple of times.
Well, I love the story of you revving it just to get out of a fucking conversation because
Oh.
I know the person you were talking
That
to, and it is
angry,
one of those.
angry lady.
Oh, it's one. We stop in there. It's like, all right, I'm hitting the drive-through because I want to be quick. I don't. If I wanted
Angry.
to talk, I'd go in the fucking store like an old person at a bank. I'm hitting the drive-through. I want my shit. And I want to get on the road. And she wants to tell you about life, kind of like Dan.
And
You know, what'd you do last night? Well, I started at 6:35. I was combing my hair, which he did not do today. He thinks we have hair and makeup budget at this
No,
point.
I
in time.
didn't. I just rolled right out of bed.
No
Slipped
shit.
in today.
I
didn't
was
play
wondering
golf.
if you were sleeping under the 5 mile overpass. You did kind of stumble in like a hobo.
He might
Bush
have-
Lights are pretty
Oh,
good.
you're drinking Bush lattes.
I know.
Isn't that a
What was the-
Anheuser-Busch
what's the name of
product?
the-
It is still an Anheuser-Busch product.
Yeah.
I know,
Indirectly-
but it's not Bud Light.
It's not the
that's-
blue can.
So what does that mean? If you were going to suck a dick, if it's a small dick, you're not gay? It's commit or not commit, Dan. You're still in the same company.
I
Headline.
don't even consider. I wouldn't even consider him gay if he sucked a dick. I don't consider him gay.
What's
he,
the name? What's the name
he
of
just
that
made
guy?
a choice in that instant.
Yeah, but you get the analogy. I
What's
mean, it's
the-
not big, but it's still a dick.
What's the name of that guy that you used to listen to, and he'd open the cans of beer and he'd say Bush?
Yeah, it's the
what's that guy's name?
uh,
we got to get that guy on the podcast.
betcha.
That guy was
I
hilarious.
bet you. Or he had a bunch of ton of Instagrams and YouTubes. Those are funny.
What was that guy's
Betcha.
name? It was pretty funny. Oh, look, this can is a collector's edition.
It was he talked?
got-
Was he joking? Is there
Neat.
really? I was never in a
It's
Greek
got a fish
society.
on
He
it.
said the frat was Kappa Kappa Kappa. Is that a bullshit frat, or is he
I
just
don't
saying
know.
KKK because
wasn't him.
that's when I see Kappa Kappa
That
Kappa, I
wasn't
see
him.
3 big Ks.
It wasn't him.
Oh, one. I can't.
No.
Like I said, I can't
It
fucking
was
read
David
this.
J.
All right, I can't read this thing up there.
Okay, well, that's fair.
Well, if it's Kappa Kappa Kappa, I would assume they turn the third K on Kappa backwards, right? Like they do on the strikeouts.
RK, who we know who that is, $20 is $20, Dan.
That's right.
I don't know. I don't know what that means.
I'm not paying you by the inch, big guy.
Talking about your one-time choice.
One-time choice of what?
Sucking a wiener.
Why are we talking about that?
Because
he's zoned out. He had a stroke. Don't worry about it.
You got enamored with the fish on the can,
and it's got a fish on it.
And
I'm just saying.
I know. No shit.
It says right there.
Have we ever had him tested for ADHD?
Oh my God.
Collector's edition. It says.
I was
going
to say. I think he's on the spectrum.
Yeah.
Right there.
It is Autism Awareness Month.
Just saying. It's been a while since I had a Busch Light, and it's not bad.
Hey, we do need to get a Varner read in there at some point. Just FYI.
Do you have that copy, Rob? Or are you gonna...
Somewhere I do.
All right. This is such a professional operation.
I will do it because I know he's playing in a.
We can do the Kerry Wolfangle one if you want.
I know
he's doing a benefit tonight up in.
But we haven't done a Dan Varner read.
You know what? I think I got it on here,
and I think it is apropos that we do so.
Sure is. You're going to do the Kerry read, Dan, while I'm doing this. Fill some dead air.
Why don't you do that?
Well,
give yourself something to do. We're out of crayons here.
I will do that. And if you have a need for a real estate agent, we want to tell you about the only one that we recommend here. At one more, and I'm out of here, and that is Kerry Wolfangle. She has received many of the highest awards in the industry, and it's because she builds her business on relationship and trust and honesty. And everyone she has worked with, they will tell you the exact same thing. So if you're interested in buying a home or you know someone who is, Kerry Wolfangle is who you need to call. And that name, along with Comey and Shepherd Realtors, really all you need to know when it comes to real estate, not only here in and around the Cincinnati area, but really anywhere across the country, anywhere around the world. Kerry Wolfangle is the one you want to talk to. So again, if you know someone who's in the market, or maybe even thinking about being in the market, or if that might be you, here's the number you want to call. 513-265-3125, or you can reach out to Kerry Wolfangle at her email, kwolfangle@comey.com. Your road home starts at Wolfangle.
Good job, Dan.
There you
go. You got through that one good. Didn't sound like Fetterman that time.
I do have a...
I don't think I've ever sounded like Fetterman.
Oh, you have.
When? Name one time.
I'll have to go back and look at
the tape. One time.
It's all out there.
Name one time that I pulled a Fetterman.
I can't right now. I have to go back and look.
Because you can't.
We got to research.
I'll find you.
No way. That never happened. That never happened.
Okay,
buddy.
Just saying.
Oh, you awfully got defensive, didn't you? Quickly.
Well, the guy
that escalated quickly.
As close to being brain dead as he possibly can be.
And he was depressed.
And so was the guy in the White House.
He was depressed.
Well, yeah, he's depressed because everybody knows what a clown he is.
I have a feeling he was a clown before the stroke.
He was a clown before the stroke.
Like an actual clown? Was he John Wayne Gacy type?
He could be
WGN Bozo?
He could be a clown. Could be the tragic clown.
Dan didn't know he could make money from his side gig. It's a revelation for him.
Yeah, the only thing I have on the Varner Foundation read thing is a letter that was CC'd to One More and I'm Out of Here LLC to us. It was a letter. Should I read that letter, Keith?
Yeah, go ahead.
Are you sure?
Yeah, go ahead.
What was the exasperated?
Which one are you doing?
What do you mean? The letter that was CC'd to One More and I'm Out of Here.
Oh, yeah.
Presidential.
The letter thanking me for my pledge to the Varner Foundation.
Yes.
That letter.
Yeah, it was sent to us too.
Well, it was sent to me too.
Did you send it in?
Yes.
I'm gonna call bullshit.
Go ahead.
Let me send a text message.
Whatever you want.
So, Varner Foundation for Children. It's a 503c nonprofit. 100% of all your donation goes to help the children. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. They don't take a percentage out. They don't have admin costs or overhead that deduct from the benefit of your money. Give. The Varner Foundation for Children, basically the money you give goes like this. Foster care out there, those people are struggling as well. There's not money to be made in foster care. So car breaks down, tire bursts, kid needs shoes, whatever it is, the Varner Foundation steps in, helps that person, bridges a gap in their lives so that child does not suffer. Any amount of money you can give to the Varner Foundation, again, 100% of it goes to the children, which is great. And the Varner Foundation is having a benefit today in Dayton, Ohio, to raise some additional funds. Like, is it Franklin? I think? Franklin, Ohio.
JD Legends.
JD Legends up in Franklin, Ohio. God, we're plugging them. We're gonna have to send them a letter like Dan got for the for the donation. Go up there if you're in the Dayton area, or if you're not in the Dayton area, carpool up or one eye, whatever. Support the Varner Foundation any way you can. That's the VarnerFoundation.com. You can find them on social media, Facebook, Insta.
Actually, I think it's VarnerFoundation.org.
VarnerFoundation.org. Thank you, Dan. You actually listen sometimes when the podcast is
Just
going
saying,
on.
trying to help out.
Instead of looking at beer cans with birds and shit on it. VarnerFoundation.org. Please give. Please pledge. I know Dan just mentioning he was going to pledge the $100-$250. He got a letter thanking him and just reminding him to send that check, and that it did not constitute a receipt that he can deduct on his taxes yet until he actually sent the check. We're going to follow up.
I'm waiting on a text message to make sure that Varner Foundation received that check.
So some weeks ago, Kiefer and I were sitting up at the bar, and we crafted Varner Foundation letterhead and sent a letter to Mr. Carroll. Dear Mr. Carroll, on behalf of Varner Foundation for Children and Families, we want to thank you for your pledge of $102.50 that we recently learned about and cannot wait for your monies to help orphans in this area with unencountered needs. Since 100% of all monies donated go to the goal of the Varner Foundation for Children and Families, be assured that all $102.50 will be utilized to benefit those in need. Please make your check payable to Varner Foundation, and please visit our website for additional information on how you can impact those in need. Again, on behalf of the Varner Foundation for Children and Families, thank you for your pledge. Once the pledge amount is paid, we will send you a receipt that can be utilized for deduction purposes on your taxes with a footnote that goes at the bottom. This letter is not a receipt for tax deductibility. You will receive a separate letter that provides proof of your actual payment. Did anybody tell you about this?
I got it in the mail.
Did you think it was from Varner?
No.
Bullshit. That looked pretty fucking professional. We plucked that letterhead.
It was really good.
You
didn't think it was bullshit. Don't even fucking lie.
Well, I'm pretty sure the outside of the envelope wouldn't have been scribbled in with a
dude. 100% of the money goes to the children
with a magic marker.
100% of the money goes to the children, Dan.
Or a Sharpie.
What do you think they have? Somebody that professionally prints return envelopes?
I have not received an actual mail from the Varner Foundation, so I wouldn't know.
Well, you probably haven't actually mailed anything to the Varner Foundation ever in your life.
It's like the longest withstanding
we've been waiting.
Ever.
Yeah, we've been waiting though for him to say something. He just hasn't said it. That means you thought it was real. Oh,
that was hilarious. That was a funny ass.
We thought he'd say something the first podcast after it was mailed. Then we come up with some fucked up.
Well, I don't need to tell you about everything I get in the mail.
I guarantee you.
We just told us about everything you did last night.
I guarantee you. Paula, I got this here. Send this out. Paula, I just received this. I guarantee you that's how that went.
He's going to start throwing federal government shit away thinking it's us. This is bullshit. This is those guys. All of a sudden the IRS shows up.
I sent the picture to Jill and she's like, that looks pretty fucking legit.
God love computers. So everything you see on the internet is true, ladies and gentlemen. You want to find the answer to a medical question while you're having massive chest pain? Go to the internet. It'll tell you how to treat it, fix it, or what it is.
Don't do that.
It's mostly going to be cancer.
Because then you're going to call 911 and you're going to wake me up and the other fireman that's in this chat.
I guarantee if you Google that,
don't wake them up.
If you Google that lump on your nose, it'll tell you it's fucking cancer.
That's why I haven't Googled it. So it's not cancer till I know it's cancer.
There you go.
Are we going to play the commercial?
Do you want to?
Was that a commercial?
Which
that
one?
is fucking pretty hilarious.
Yeah. So going back onto briefly on the Dylan Mulvaney.
I don't know who made that, but it's one of the funniest things I've ever heard. Absolutely.
It was
oh shit.
So this is going to be the entertainment portion of the podcast now.
It's me.
Well, very simple.
Dylan Mulvaney.
There we go.
So I've been a woman for about a year now, and I can tell you exactly everything there is to know about being a woman. For example, I now pee sitting down. It's annoying, though, when my gardong hits the toilet water, as I get a chill every time the cold water touches the tip of my cooch. I also
Is it
love
just
the
me,
color
or does the
pink
chin look like
doing
a set of
something
nuts?
called Kegels. In fact, I can lift a whole
Apparently not
ball
you.
turkey using only my butthole. And Bud Light is
You
definitely a
double
woman's
fizzle
favorite
says,
drink.
nice balls.
I mean, you can just see my cooch rain as I
So
sip
moist.
it. I get so wet, it's like a waterfall down there. Ah, Look at me drinking Bud Light, just like one of the girls. Perhaps later I'll cradle a cold one between my thighs as I let my boyfriend take a whiff of my butt, just like a woman. And as a woman, drinking Bud Light makes me feel like one of the guys. Bud Light. We have no fun.
I found that very, very amusing. It was,
Now, see, that's a creative genius that I love.
But you sent that to me, and I was like, oh,
it's funny as shit.
Dan says, oh, I got something funny for the podcast.
Tell me that's not funny.
I literally laughed my ass off.
It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
I did like it. I like the fact that they used the word moist.
I think it's funny that they're still doing it. Like they're still coming up with it. Like it wasn't just a flash in the pan.
Yeah, that was
reaction.
April 4th, I believe, when we came out with that story.
And the shit is still coming out. And then obviously the story where, that marketing VP is taking a quote unquote leave of absence.
She's done. Yeah, she's out.
But I mean, even though and Rob and I have been watching the stock just out of curiosity, and he was like, hey, what is it today? And I hadn't looked, but it just, and Rob was saying, like, it just goes to show you how much money that company has to where it drops $2, they lose,
$4 billion
cap. And they're like, oh, okay. Now we're just going to move on down the road and figure it out. But
great buying opportunity.
The letter that the CEO wrote, I thought was bullshit. Probably not the way I would have crafted that letter, but I did see one excerpt where, you have a good old boy's beer, and this is the route you want to take. Me personally, I don't care. I mean, whatever. I don't care. It's your money. I don't have to support it. I drink Miller Lite, but it's still somewhat. They're all fucking in bed together anyway. But my can doesn't look that way.
Kind of like
I'm okay with it.
Hey, Wilkie, you're saying they lost $6 billion. Do me a favor, and I could probably look it up. What was the market cap before the Dylan Mulvaney, and what is the market cap of Bud right now? I'm just curious. Or when the Dylan thing came out, if it was $6 billion, I'm curious what it was market cap before and what it was after or today. Just see if they've recouped and how much they have recouped. I know they have.
I want to say the numbers that I saw in the article that I read on that the company was worth $135 billion.
Mm-hmm.
And after the Dylan Mulvaney thing, it went down to $127 billion. Somewhere in that range.
So it's probably back up to 129, 130 right now.
Probably.
With the $1.10 share increase from what we saw when we read out the lows on the $6 billion day.
And whatever. I just want to, for the record, here on the One More and I'm Out of Here podcast, we have never called or suggested a boycott on this product or any other product.
I think you have, Dan.
I have never called for a boycott on anything. And I would do that.
Actions speak louder than words, Dan.
Well, I make my own decisions. What I decide to do is what I decide to do, and I don't sit there and tell other people what they ought to do.
Okay.
So if people choose not to drink Bud Light, that's their decision. I mean, I can sit here and say what my decision is, and if you want to follow suit, well, that's 100% up to you.
What kind of fish is that?
But Sean Hannity made a good point about this the other night.
Weird. Bush lost because of lack of Bush.
And he talked about the people that are going to get, if there's an organized boycott and it keeps going on, the people who are going to get hurt by it are the people who work at the distributors, the people who run bars, the people who actually work for a living,
the workers.
This gal is on a leave of absence right now. What do you think her severance package is going to look like?
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. A nice fat.
It's going to be
seven-figure check or six-figure check. I mean, it's going to be.
I'm sure she's a shareholder too. She's recovering nicely.
So she doesn't get hurt by it.
Work. I don't have to work anymore. Cool, got it.
But
she looks like Dylan Mulvaney, kind of, didn't she?
When you get
not attractive at all.
Liberal activists like this in positions of power, look at the effect that some stupid decision like this can have on other people's lives, and that's really what it boils down to. Is that she made this decision and apparently went out of the normal channels to make this happen.
And I don't want to say like it was a knee-jerk reaction for the public reaction. You're changing the whole concept of, at least from my growing up, of what and I that blurb that I heard, good old boy beer, that's what it was, me growing up. Now it changed, and then they obviously changed to the culture as far as bringing out the seltzers, bringing out Bud Light Platinum and all this shit. Like you have to adapt to a point,
sure,
to your consumers.
I'm going to offend an entire segment of the population, but when I think of Budweiser, I think of 6-pack tall boy Buds in the plastic ring container, a guy walking down the street with a wife beater and a 6-pack in one hand and a bowling bag in the other.
That's no, I mean, you're not
nothing wrong with that.
You're not
Not at all.
wrong.
Not at all.
But they catered as things started changing. White Claw comes out, so they bring out but Anheuser-Busch brings out a seltzer. You have to adapt, right? Like the trends change. Craft beer has become a big thing all over the place, but we've seen it a ton here in Cincinnati as well. So you have to adapt and try to pull those people back into your, into the stores to buy your product. But when you grab onto 1 to 2% of the population that drinks your shit and do that the way they did it, and I think what a lot of people lose is that Dylan Mulvaney's not going to be on every beer can. It's just that was cans for him or her, however they're identifying. I don't know.
She.
We're
at day 383. As a woman.
Okay. Thank you. See, and that just shows you how much attention I pay, because I don't fucking care. But
I think it's monumental.
But they bring that to her, so she's got a commemorative can. Great. But you now exile all of your people that are throwing money into your business. Now you lose 4 to 6 billion. Numbers have gone back and forth. They obviously don't care. It's not hurting them that much. Now I have seen multiple bars, like through Fox News, multiple news outlets that said we're taking it out, because it feels like Anheuser-Busch is making them, those different bars and businesses, push the transgender out. So reading this article, a bar called the Tiki Grill down in Florida, and they've got multiple locations. They're Christians, but they're like, with what you did, you pushed this agenda out where that's not the way that we feel. So we're going to just take your product completely out of our stores, or out of our bars.
And you make an excellent point there. And that's the way I felt about this from the very beginning, is that by doing this move, Anheuser-Busch or Bud Light is saying to its millions and millions and millions of drinkers that by association, you are promoting this particular political agenda. You are, by association, supporting all this transgendered craziness. And like you said, look, if Dylan Mulvaney wants to run around and do whatever he or she does, I don't care. Do it all day long.
Yes,
please, by all means, knock yourself out. But if that particular company decides to endorse that particular political outlook, I don't have to go along with that. And the way I show that I don't go along with that is by choosing not to purchase their product, spend any money on it.
Well, Gray, I agree with you. And I'm going to say 100% because I want to go on this chat. Hold on, let me drink real quick. Why does everything have to be political now?
Exactly.
Run your business. Run your business. Think about the mainstream media as well. They have politicized everything. People go to movies, people watch shows, fictional shows and shit to escape politics.
Dude, there's so much shit on TV, and I'm sorry to fucking jump on it.
Why does it got to be up in front?
The fucking View pushes their bullshit agenda to everybody during the fucking day. Fuck that fucking show. But guess what? That's your right.
Everything is politicized and is put in your face on a constant
assholes.
basis. Why can't we just drink a fucking Bud Light and bitch about something else?
Or Miller Lite.
But
I've always drank Miller Lite. I didn't just.
Or Budweiser. I mean, fuck, if you want to carry a bowling ball.
If there is no Miller Lite, I'll drink Budweiser. Just FYI. I don't care.
But the other thing I want to do is flip it over. And is Bud Light or Anheuser-Busch off track, though, with the Dylan Mulvaney thing? Because I am thinking, what was his name? Something Raider, BTK killer in the Midwest. If I remember correctly, he liked to wear dresses too. Maybe they do know something we don't know. Maybe there's like an inner circle of all these people that are acting out on Front Street and in camera, when in fact they're trying to dissuade their wives, girlfriends, and shit from thinking or knowing that they actually wear dresses and do autoerotic asphyxiation shit at night.
Dennis Rader.
I knew it was Rader, but BTK, he wore dresses.
Good job, Falcon Hater.
And he was from the Midwest. So
my answer to that question, Rob, would be the fact that
and Dan's the biggest proponent. So
Elisa Heinrichide has been taken a leave of absence and is going to be replaced. To me, suggests that Anheuser-Busch thinks that this was an incorrect move to make.
You know what? She did it on Secret Channel's bullshit. And that thing went to the top, and she is the scapegoat. She is the one that is left holding the bag.
Maybe it did go to the top.
There's going to be a fucking lawsuit. Watch this. There'll be a lawsuit. It's just going to get ugly. It's stupid.
Maybe that's Anheuser-Busch covering their ass, saying that she didn't do this through the proper approval channel.
Well, some people said the Clintons killed people to cover their trails. The Biden administration just denies shit and acts like they're fucking dumb.
What did I just read to you?
But to my
Saturn has the biggest ring in the solar system outside, or the second biggest ring outside of the Hollywood pedophile ring.
Yeah, that got smaller though because of Epstein.
But just to and I'll end my part of this discussion on this. It gives me hope that this action has been taken by Anheuser-Busch, that people are being held accountable for what they do. She's the one who made this decision, went out there and talked about it, and I believe used the word authentic when she was defending her decision to go ahead with this Dylan Mulvaney thing. And I find that a bit ironic that you're promoting someone who is probably as inauthentic as they can possibly be, and then using that phraseology to try and sell your beer. So the fact that there are some real life consequences here gives me hope that we'll start seeing in some other places that people will face consequences for the decisions.
The fall guy, Dan. It's just a patsy.
Well, and here's the thing. Like, my opinion,
I would have no hope from that firing.
Again, here I am sitting on Beachmont Avenue with you guys, but you could have.
You've done well.
You could have donated. You could have donated all this money that you lost, but you didn't care about. Billions of dollars, but you still have plenty. You could have donated that to a cause under the fucking radar.
Barner Foundation.
BarnerFoundation.org. Or, I mean, you could have done it in so many different ways if you are supporting that, and that's fine. But to make this blast out, which obviously went viral because TikTok was booming with all the videos, and the Kid Rock video we showed, and I think it was a blitzkrieg kind of a ad campaign. You could have donated money to whatever. I don't even know what charities or that help people that want to transition. But I know they're out there. You could have done that.
I'd love to see a meme or something like that video.
Well, I can make one.
Like South Park should do this. You got a bunch of people that America first, fuck these trannies. And then at night it flashes to the same fucking person who's wearing his wife's dress and shit, playing with dolls. And I mean, I can see it happening. Dennis Rader did it.
South Park's probably already done it.
I don't know. I visualize that. The person that is outspoken is kind of like a serial killer or a rapist going back to the scene, or a arsonist going back to the scene to check it out. It's just something in their head, man.
I know South Park already did an episode where they had the trans men competing against the women.
Yeah, that was a swimmers thing.
In sports.
Yeah, that was a swimmers thing.
Well, it was a track and field event, and then they had the track meet. And the guy who was competing against him was like Macho Man Randy Savage. It's like, yeah.
Was that PC Principal? That was PC Principal, man.
Well, it was South Park. It was an episode from a long time ago.
I think somebody watches it.
Hilarious.
I mean, staying on this topic, I didn't send it to myself, but was it Riley Gaines?
Riley Gaines, yep, swimmer from UK.
So, like, she's now being called the Patriot Barbie for sticking up for women in women's sports because she swam against Leah Thomas and has been on all the news networks. So, like, even the women with all of this shit are getting fucking fed up. And she's been that Riley's been all over the place. And I meant to send myself an article to put up here, but I didn't.
Well, that's the insidious thing about this is that women are being left on the side of the road in order to pursue this agenda. I mean, there's all these states right now that are passing different laws to prevent
that is great
biological men from competing against women in sports.
Here's the deal. Women haven't been able to break through the glass ceiling or had equalization in pay and shit. So we're going to fuck them even more. We're going to start beating women so we get more privileges. I love it. I wonder if Dylan Mulvaney is getting paid like a man. Oh, it's like a cigarette. Deodorant.
It's the whole thing.
He should go to the Secret brand and do a commercial for them. That would fit perfect. I've used my wife's Secret on a pinch, and it smells pretty. Makes me feel good.
In a pinch, it makes you feel good.
It does.
I'm not going to lie. I've done it.
Yeah, I like the smell of it. I was like, shit, Old Spice, let's fucking flare it up a little bit. Just get some flowery fragrance.
Flare it up or flare it down. One of it, flower it up.
Yeah, flower it up, man. There's a promo. I'm not as angry now. I'm thinking of Earth Day. Fuck it. Let's go. I'm going to go buy some Secret at Walgreens.
All right, speaking of Earth Day, we'll do this. This video went viral.
Fuck Earth Day, by the way.
That's so bad.
I left my car running just out of spite throughout the whole podcast.
I don't know what I would do if this happened to me.
Have I seen this video yet?
No.
Okay. Wait. All I gotta do is watch.
Oh, this is that crevasse.
I have no idea how.
So that's someone skiing. They actually fell into a giant crevice.
Yes.
Crevasse, Dennis.
Crevice.
I have no idea how far that was.
Holy shit!
I was reading that article today. Literally, snow pants would have been filled with shit.
How do you fucking get out?
So he had buddies that were behind him, tossed a rope down, but he had ice cleats.
Okay.
He was backcountry skiing in France.
So he was prepared.
But I mean, you saw how far he fell. Snow pants would be full of shit. There was only one French phrase that was said, which I don't know French. Pretty sure it wasn't good.
Oui, oui.
But there would have been a lot more coming out of my face that whole way fucking down.
What did the French, did it say call America?
It literally made, I was driving home and I had that video and my hands started fucking sweating as I was watching him fall. I was like, oh my God. And when you look and see how far down it continues to go.
You had a driver, of course, right?
You know that
Yes.
sort of thing is frowned.
Because we're hands free.
Someone else was driving. Okay. All right.
Hi, you guys know me. I have a driver who drives me to
state
work.
law,
Duh.
hands free. We decided to go drivers for Kiefer and I instead of getting a hair and makeup person for Dan.
I have my own driver. Duh.
Yeah. We went hands free.
Because I never sent a text message while I'm driving either. It's weird.
So apparently you can't touch your phone while you're driving. Everything's got to be hand free, but you can have a fucking computer or a 4K 60-inch on the dashboard of all these electric vehicles, and everything's okay. That sounds great to me. Good job, Congress, House. Love
Or
you
you
guys.
can try eating a rally burger while you're driving. That's a trick too.
You know what's hands free? When I was a kid, when I was younger, not a kid, but younger, lighting a fucking cigarette, holding a cup of coffee. That was hands free, baby, before it became popular. So kiss my ass. Might have been the one that coined the phrase hand free.
Is that why all the rally rappers were in your passenger floorboard of your car?
Hand free my ass. The only thing that hand free was taking off Peggy Sue's
It
bra.
was hands free when you tossed it over in the floorboard of your car.
Yeah. There's a lot of. I cleaned that out. Will Griff did last night.
Did
he
you?
bitched. Oh,
Did
he
you?
bitched.
Well, I would too.
There's a lot of.
I thought there were two fucking
lot of
homeless
shit in there.
people living in the back of that fucking car.
I did get a big garbage bag. It was bad. Yeah, I live in my car and there's
Only
a lot
one?
of shit in it.
Now, see, that'll be easy to verify. We can just walk out there after the show and take a look and see what that looks like.
Well, there's still a little bit of debris. It was a big garbage bag, but it wasn't that fucking big. And I only did a front seat, so I could. He was driving, so I had to put my feet down. I wasn't putting my feet in that trash. That's why I threw it on the passenger
Literally
side.
in Clayton, I thought there were two homeless people that was their address. 8112 Beachmont.
I think people driving by us when
With the
Dan was
license.
up front with the open container thought it was a homeless person too.
8112 Beachmont, care of, and then Rob's license plate, HEA, whatever the numbers were.
I don't know.
It's a blue house.
Why don't you have a vanity plate? Why don't you have like a Herking, HRK Law or something like that?
I think I'm going to get one. I looked online and this is available. It says F. Carroll. I think I'm going to get that
There
one.
you go. That would be a good one.
F. Carroll. That would work.
Fuck Dan.
Why am I
Okay.
still only seeing 6 thumbs ups? There's 14 people. You fuckers. Come on now.
Yeah, I like the hands-free aspect. It's good times.
Hands free. Yeah, I mean, I have my Diet Mountain Dew.
I was hands-free.
I got to put a chew in, throw the knee up.
I was hands-free throughout West Virginia.
I got the phone in a cup holder. It's fine. Everything's good.
I went hands-free when
I'm not touching my phone, so I can't get pulled over for that.
I remember going hands-free
do
when
at
I
all?
dropped a cigarette. It's like, oh, fuck. You're digging around the bottom of the car, no hands on the wheel. You're not even looking like you're in a fucking movie, just looking for that burning smoke.
I was my dad's version of hands free. Is Jason, light this cigarette and open that
Yep.
beer, hand it over,
Very true.
and then he would throw the beer can out. Happy Earth Day.
Happy Earth Day. I'm going to let's do that today. I'm going to drive around throwing shit out 275.
I'm not doing that.
Well, you got to give the people on work release something to do. I mean, make it worth their while. They don't want to walk all the way up and down
You mean your clients?
a perfectly clean fucking highway. They
I'll tell
want
you
something
what,
to pick
there-
up.
there
No,
used
I
to
love
be-
these idiots that sponsor the show. Oh, hey, we're Procter & Gamble. We are very eco-friendly. So what we're going to do is get our hourly people to go out and pick up trash so we all feel good and put our name up on a fucking sign that we sponsor this highway for the next mile.
I'm going to put this back up. I don't know if Dan saw it.
Oh, what's wrong with that?
You want to show corporate responsibility? Let's go out and start taking some photos of this shit places where they're here you go. Corporate responsibility, motherfucker. You sponsored this mile of highway.
I'm
Clean it
saying.
up. Clean it up. Or we'll pick it up. We'll start.
Dan Varner said he's still not trying to say, well, it's in the mail, Dan.
It was in the mail fucking 3 months ago.
No,
It's
I
in the
lied
mail.
about that.
And I think you're lying right now.
In
In front of all of our listeners, you're lying. Viewers, listeners.
Jesus.
Are you ever, let me just ask you, are you ever going to pay it or should I just pay it
No,
and then write you off as a dependent next year?
You are not paying it.
Well, you're not paying your bets.
I actually wanted to do it here on the podcast.
I know. Well,
We've
because-
had Dan here 16 fucking times. on
But
the
every
podcast.
time I've tried to do it, you guys had other
Oh,
things
it's
going
us.
on.
I'm sorry.
it's always us.
It's your fault. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, you are the quintessential defendant in a sex case. No, she was wearing something. She asked for it. So it's us. It's somebody else's fault. This is what's
I've
wrong
never
with
said
this
that.
world.
I've never said that.
Holy shit. D double fizzle 1983 Buick LeSabre. How did you know? That was my dad did have one of those.
Oh, I remember those. Those are popular as
Great
shit.
car, man. Great car right there.
Fucking land yacht.
The Buick
It was
LeSabre.
a fucking land yacht.
Yeah, man.
I wouldn't even be able to touch my dad across the bench seat.
Hell
It was
no.
so
Which
hot.
was good for you. That way your dad couldn't touch you across that bench seat.
Smack, smack, smack.
Yeah.
You could have a family of 4 living in the trunk of that car.
Fuck, I should have lit up 2 cigarettes for him instead of just one.
That was a good car. I'm trying to remember.
Isn't that funny how different things were? And obviously our parents could say the same, and you know, it's all progression. But when you sit there, and I've told the story that going through driver's ed was the first time I realized it was illegal to have an open container in a car. I was like, wow, you're not allowed to do that? Because my dad always had a briefcase.
Yeah.
AKA Old Milwaukee's Best.
What if you get
Hand me another one. Hand me
breakdown-
another one.
breakdown in the car?
God, that's a beer I haven't had in a long
And
time.
when he threw it out, I was like, Dad, you're littering. He was like, no, it's evidence removal, son.
I
Okay.
like it.
And he dies when I'm 12. 16, I go through driver's ed. Holy shit, Dad. That was bad.
This is frowned upon.
That was
Have
bad.
an open beer in the car.
I'm thinking of
What do
throwing
you
shit
do?
out the window today.
You throw shit out the window every day.
No.
You should do it more often, though.
Yeah, that's the new way I'm going to clean out my car floor.
My parents always had old Milwaukee around the house.
That's terrible.
And that shit used to get me hammered.
Fucking terrible.
It was free beer, so I drank it.
Rob, I am buying you an arm, a mic arm.
I know it bugs the shit out of me having to bend down on this motherfucker.
I'm gonna donate it.
We do need to upgrade our mic stands.
And our mics.
Well,
It's all moving forward.
all those
It's all moving
orphans want to
forward.
upgrade their
Moving
fucking shoes.
And we thank our great sponsors for all the help they've given us in the equipment area
100%.
and all the rest.
Uh-oh.
100%. There we go.
So what time is it? It's 2 o'clock, 2:02 Eastern time on 422. I know Kiefer's got some exciting stuff going on tonight. He's tied down. I'm afraid to ask Dan what he's doing tonight because we're going to get into a 40-minute fucking dialogue.
Getting ready for tomorrow. I've got a big night of radio
Ooh,
tomorrow.
that's your big radio show.
I've got a local show 7 to 8:30, and then I've got the national show going on from 10 to 1 a.m. Eastern time on the Premier Radio Network.
As much grief as we give.
Do you know what the call-in number is on that?
Off the top of my head, I do not know.
It's not the same as 700, right?
It's different. Yeah, it's different calling.
All right.
As much grief as we give Dan. Tomorrow is a big day for him. His first national radio show. Proud of you. I think that's
Sitting in
awesome.
for Bill Cunningham.
I think that's awesome.
And I'm also doing Cunningham's show on 700 WLW on Monday and Tuesday next week, too.
Very nice.
Busy radio schedule.
That's noon to
up.
3, right?
Noon to 3.
Sweet.
And then I have my show, the Midweek Crisis, Wednesday night edition, Wednesday night, 9 to midnight.
It's always a fun time to call in on that show.
I'm excited.
If my producer takes your call.
I've gotten a new throwaway from them. they dump me sometimes.
We do troll Dan a little bit,
Yeah.
here and there.
What was the name of that caller?
Felipe?
Felipe.
Yeah.
Felipe hasn't called in a while.
Well, because you know Felipe.
Maybe Felipe can call the national show.
Do you really want Felipe
No,
to call the
no,
national show?
no.
Felipe in Cincinnati. Let's get.
I'm gonna implore you, Rob.
I'm not going to
To
call
not
the
do
national
that.
show. I got shit to
His
do.
You want to take Felipe national?
And not only because you have shit to do, but because it's his first national show, and don't fuck him up.
Oh my God! Did you bring Paula with you? And
I think this is a huge deal for him. That's big to go national.
So you guys are
National
bashing
show.
Bill Mulvaney, and yet you act like a married couple right now. Don't screw with my man.
Well, I support him. Sorry,
I'm not going to call
I'm
in.
friends with him. I support him.
I'm not going to call in.
I bust his balls, but I support him.
Felipe was from Hyde Park, though.
Felipe supports Dan Carroll too.
So does Thomas. We just love listening to your voice, Mr. Carroll. You don't have to call me Mr. Carroll. Oh, but I do, Mr. Carroll. Thank you, Dan.
Fun times.
Everybody, I know this was an early edition, but we fucked, or the internet fucked us up, and then we were able to do 420, so we needed to get another one in. Our next one's not until next Saturday.
Yeah, apparently they in Cincinnati, the doctors have a
It's
cure
Saturday.
for Andrea.
We figured it out.
Yeah. It's called Wi-Fi.
I think it's next Saturday. I don't know. It'll be posted when we're going live again.
And I know we got a guest coming up. When is that? We hit some dates in May. Oh, we're fucking still trying to confirm.
Yes.
We did sit down, scroll Dan
I was
down.
like, what do you know that I don't?
We scrolled Dan down and finally picked some fucking dates from May. So we think we have those at least on the book for now until he fucks around and I forgot about this or that or the other. Kind of like picking the wrong hotel in Clayton. And
My schedule's in flux. What can I say?
okay, it's a very fluid situation here, but nonetheless, we got some guest lists lined up. We've got feelers out. We've gotten responses on 3, I believe. Really looking forward to 1, and we talked about that. Alluded to it the last show. And I was not high, so I remember it. And I believe Falconator indicated, was it Falconator that indicated? Or
Imperial Girl.
Yeah, road trip. If we get that one, that'd be awesome. I'm looking forward to that one.
Well, thanks everyone for watching today. We really appreciate you being here and spending some time here on the One More and I'm Out Here.
Remember, #FreeCarl, and wait for the confirmation of when Dan sends his check to the Varner
It
Foundation.
doesn't look that bad, really.
Subscribe, like,
Feels fucking
There's a
terrible.
little character.
follow our social media. You can hit us up on onemoreandI'mOutofHere.com.
Subscribe to Palooza.
Social media, I think it's Facebook, Insta, Snap, a couple other things. YouTube channel, obviously, you know where that is if you're watching. If you're not watching and you're listening to this, and I will promise that you'll be listening this same day, plus it'll be a bonus episode from 2 days ago.
He's making a promise.
Yeah, I'm gonna get on my laptop and post them up. But hit us up on the YouTube channel, follow the channel, like the channel, subscribe to the channel. That way you too can follow us and know when Dan actually settles his debt. And you might actually get the answer to that elusive question that I am going to ask. Ian, you manscape.